All right, get yourselves ready for the coldest night we've had in a long time. Temperatures are supposed to drop well into the teens. And tomorrow, well, it's not going to be much warmer. What a way to end the week. Good afternoon and welcome to the Fox 8 5 o'clock news. I'm Neil McNeil.
And I'm Katie Nordine. Chief Meteorologist Van Denton also here. And Van, tomorrow would make a great first day of winter, but it's still technically fall.
Okay.
Today would have too.
Yeah.
Today is cold. It's very cold outside today. It's going to be even colder tonight, and tomorrow slightly colder than today. Numbers outside right now have already fallen to freezing here in the Piedmont Triad. 32 in Greensboro, High Point, and Winston-Salem. 20s back in the west, teens already in the mountains, and southern counties are in the 30s to near 40. Will be in the 30s everywhere very quickly. Now, wind chills, that's another factor. We got a little breeze out there. Feels like between 21 and 25 throughout the Triad cities now, and up in the mountains it feels like single digits in the lower elevations, around 2,000 to 3,000 feet. But you get up in higher, it's sub-zero in those spots. And as we take a look at what's going on with these temperatures, again, they're going to be getting colder all night long, working our way down into the teens. I think mid to upper teens for most of us. We are forecasting about 16 for the Piedmont Triad for our low temperature overnight tonight. And tomorrow, we just barely get back to near and just slightly above freezing. I think we'll end up around 34 degrees for our high officially in the Triad, and a couple degrees higher than that just to the south. High pressure over us is an Arctic dome of high pressure. That'll be right over us tomorrow morning, so at least when the high comes in overnight tonight, it'll allow winds to drop off, so we won't have this breeze continue too much longer tonight. That high then begins to slip off to the east, and as it does, the airflow around it being clockwise will pull air in off the Atlantic. So that will start to increase the clouds during the day tomorrow. We'll start with high clouds. The clouds will thicken up as we go through the night tomorrow night. And then as those clouds thicken up enough and we get enough moisture, we could see a touch of light precipitation late tomorrow night, as we've been talking all week about this. Then the warm front's going to be slowly lifting north, and once it gets through here, we break out in some milder air. Now, usually these warm fronts take longer to get here and through here than most models forecast. I'm using the coldest that I could find, but even this is not cold enough, as I do think it will take longer on Saturday for us to see that. And then there's another cold front coming down. Now, this will enhance our rain chances on Sunday as it approaches. Now, here's what's going on tomorrow night. You see all this peach shade on there? That's wintry precipitation, and that would be very light overnight tomorrow night and very patchy, as you can see. This would most likely be either freezing rain or freezing drizzle. Because the air is so dry at the onset, it could begin as a few sleet pellets, maybe even a stray snow flurry, but not likely. Probably sleet pellets to a little bit of some of that, then breaking up as we go to 7 a.m. And then beyond that time period, we have a dry slot in the afternoon before rain comes back Saturday night. I'll talk more about this and how much of the freezing rain we could see in big weather in just a few minutes.
Well, he is accused of killing 9 people as they worshiped in a church in Charleston, South Carolina, and it didn't take long for a jury to find him guilty on all counts.
Dylan Roof will find out whether he'll spend the rest of his life in prison or be sentenced to death. In January, Roof admitted killing 9 people here at the Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in June of last year. There he is walking out of the church with a gun in his hand. He is a self-proclaimed white supremacist. A friend of his once said Roof wanted to start a race war. Roof faced 33 federal charges, including hate crime charges, and was convicted on each one.
Well, new at 5 o'clock, a man who's been deported from the United States twice could be deported once again after a peeping incident at Wake Forest University. Investigators arrested Rafael Ocampo Llamas today in Thomasville. Wake Forest University police arrested him back in August and accused him of peeping. When Ocampo Llamas missed his court date, police issued an arrest warrant for him. He's now in jail under no bond.
We're still waiting to hear what substance led to several students getting sick inside a classroom this afternoon. The students go to Southwest Middle School in High Point. Several EMS units, including the EMS Command Center, the multiple patient ambulance there, arrived quickly to start evaluating them. Most complained of burning eyes and noses. No students have serious injuries, thank goodness. Well, the North Carolina Senate chambers been a very busy place in the last hour.
Of course, it comes hours after Governor-elect Roy Cooper strongly criticized Republican leaders, and our very own Alex Rose is live in Raleigh right now. So, Alex, what's going on now?
Well, as you can see and hear right around me, there are, more than 100 protesters who have really disrupted the way things are going right now. There are a number of people who are being escorted to the elevator. You can see with people cheering. There's at least a couple of folks who have already been arrested for disrupting what's going on here for this special session. Now, of course, there are many people here who are protesting the legality of this special session. There's an announcement going on right now before people begin to chant, "This is what democracy looks like." Again, there's a number of bills that are going to be reviewed here. The special session is going to continue at least until tomorrow. And you're looking at some video of folks protesting in the House before they were being demanded to be moved out from the chamber there. A number of bills that are proposed by the legislature in this special session involve siphoning power from the executive office that Governor-elect Roy Cooper would take and moving that over to the legislature. I talked to the House Speaker about the sense of urgency for this session and why there is a need for a rush.
There's not an emergency, but we do think that this is a good time to do it. You have changing administrations right now. Regardless of the party issue, I've always felt like more power should be placed with the legislative branch because we're the closest to the people.
Oh, they'll win. They're illegally gerrymandered districts. They have supermajorities. They'll get what they want out of this session. And once again, North Carolina citizens will be paying for lawsuits in which the GOP most likely will not prevail.
And as you just heard from the representative there, Democrats do plan on challenging these laws if they are even a little bit unconstitutional in the courts. And you heard Governor-elect Roy Cooper talk about that earlier this morning. Meanwhile, protesters continue to chant. They're just not going to make lawmakers' job any easier for the supermajority to pass any legislation here in the Capitol. And of course, we're going to have another update for you folks on the Fox 8 6 o'clock news. Katie, Neil, back to you.
All right, Alex, we'll check back with you shortly. Thank you.
Well, today, North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory signed a document worth more than $200 million. The Disaster Recovery Act 2016 will help people who live in communities devastated by Hurricane Matthew and the wildfires. The law includes $29 million for short-term housing in areas not covered by federal funding and $5 million to help business owners get back on their feet.
So, who stole Christmas? That is what some families are asking themselves after thieves went to a hiding place very popular among parents and took Christmas gifts.
Yeah, people in 2 Piedmont neighborhoods became victims in just one night, and these aren't your ordinary break-ins either. Police say these thieves were looking specifically for would-be gifts. Fox 8's Michael Hennessy joins us live from Winston-Salem Police Headquarters this evening. So, Michael, what was stolen out of sight?
Well, Neil, a lot of people at home have probably put presents just where these people did. Children are looking for these gifts, so you stick them in your trunk. The kids may not look there, but these thieves did.
It's a really crappy time of year to take stuff away from people.
A lot of people will be home for Christmas.
I was like, why me? You know, why my house?
Probably not snow in our area, maybe mistletoe.
And they tossed everything.
What about the presents under the tree?
I was hiding them mostly from my son because he's 3 and he's nosy.
About a dozen families in 2 Winston-Salem neighborhoods might have a few less of them this year, thanks to people who wanted to take the gifts, maybe to give for themselves.
You didn't have to take anything from me. You probably could have asked and I would have given it to you.
Wednesday morning, families living near Reagan High School woke up to find someone had paid their homes a visit, more specifically the trunks of their cars.
You feel like you're safe, you know, especially in a good neighborhood like this.
A lot of these victims were taking their valuables and putting them out of plain sight, so they didn't think they had to lock their cars. But all the thieves had to do was come around the back, pop the trunk, and they're in.
My husband came inside and he was like, did you leave your trunk open yesterday?
Jennifer Cornelison, though she is one of those victims, got a little lucky. She'd taken some of the gifts out the day before and wrapped them. If she hadn't, almost all of her 3-year-old's gifts could have been taken.
It's bad any time of year, but especially Christmas. You're going to go in my trunk and take my children's presents, and they're clearly for small children, and you're going to take them anyway.
And that woman said after all of this went down, she talked to some of her neighbors, and those neighbors told her that not only that neighborhood, but an adjoining neighborhood had been targeted in the past, and police say that's just another reason to be in contact with your neighbors. Talk to them, especially if you're new to the neighborhood. Neil?
Yeah, good advice there, Michael. Thank you. Well, now's your chance to share your thoughts about adding bike lanes in part of Greensboro. The city's thinking about adding bike lanes on North Elm Street between Belmead Street and Cone Boulevard. It's all part of a larger plan to add 75 miles of bike lanes in Greensboro within 5 years. The city's transportation department's hosting an informational workshop now through 6:30 this evening at the St. Pius X Catholic Church on North Elm Street. Everyone is welcome.
Well, this Arctic air could give you a headache and also a huge repair bill. What you need to know and do right now to protect your pipes from freezing inside and outside of your home. And high-end jewelry stores are some of her favorite places to visit, but police say she doesn't shop, she steals. The one thing the suspect says she regrets.
World's largest carrot. The clever cutter promises to chop and slice in seconds.
First time ever doing a sweet potato.
But how smart is this kitchen gadget? Fox 8 on your side puts it to the dealer dud test.
Yeah, it does take a while.